Welcome to this explosive edition of Celebrity Drama Unpacked, where we're diving headfirst into the shocking incident that has the entertainment world buzzing. Rod Stewart, the legendary raspy-voiced rocker known for timeless hits like Maggie May and Da Ya Think I'm Sexy, allegedly got kicked off the set of ITV's popular daytime talk show Loose Women following a heated confrontation with fiery panelist Denise Welch. Picture this, it's a typical Tuesday afternoon in the bustling ITV studios in London, the air thick with the scent of fresh coffee and hairspray, as the Loose Women panel comprising the outspoken Denise, alongside regulars like Ruth Langsford, Janet Street Porter, and perhaps a guest or two prepares to tackle the day's hot topics ranging from royal family feuds to the latest in women's health debates. Rod Stewart, at 80 years young, isn't your standard guest. He's a music icon with a career spanning over 6 decades, a knighthood under his belt, and a personal life that's tabloid gold, from his high-profile marriages to models like Rachel Hunter and current wife Penny Lancaster, who's no stranger to Loose Women herself as an occasional panelist. But today, Rod's there to promote his upcoming autobiography or perhaps chat about his model train obsession, something that humanizes the larger-than-life star who's sold over 250 million records worldwide. The audience, a mix of loyal fans in their seats clutching mugs of tea, applauds as Rod saunters onto the brightly lit stage, his signature quiff perfectly coiffed, dressed in a tailored blazer that screams rock and roll sophistication meets British gentleman. Denise Welch, the 67-year-old Geordie powerhouse from Coronation Street fame, known for her unfiltered opinions on everything from mental health advocacy drawing from her own battles with depression to fierce defenses of her son Matty Healy of the 1975, greets him with her trademark warm yet probing smile. Little do they know, this seemingly light-hearted segment is about to erupt into chaos that will dominate headlines for weeks. As the cameras roll, host Christine Lampard introduces Rod with effusive praise, highlighting his recent Glastonbury triumph where he shared the stage with the likes of Olivia Rodrigo, blending generations in a feel-good moment that had social media alight. Rod, ever the charmer, cracks a joke about his enduring sex appeal, quipping, "Ladies, at my age, it's all about the stamina on stage, not off," eliciting giggles from the crowd. But Denise, never one to shy away from real talk, pivots the conversation towards something more personal, and perhaps Rod's views on aging in the spotlight, or his past admissions of infidelity in relationships that have long been fodder for gossip columns. The tension simmers subtly at first. Rod's eyes narrow slightly behind his trademark shades, while Denise leans forward, her northern accent cutting through the studio chatter like a knife. What starts as playful banter, Rod teasing the panel about their endless cups of tea versus his preference for a stiff scotch, quickly veers into uncomfortable territory when Denise brings up a recent interview where Rod lamented the woke culture stifling free speech in entertainment, a topic that's divided fans and critics alike. Denise, a vocal supporter of progressive causes including LGBTQ+ rights and anti-racism campaigns, counters with her own experiences of being cancelled for her outspoken tweets, referencing her infamous clashes with trolls over her defense of Meghan Markle. The audience shifts in their seats, sensing the shift from fluff to friction, as Rod fires back, his Scottish burr laced with irritation. "Darling, I've been rocking stages since before you were born. I don't need lessons in resilience from daytime telly." The words hang in the air like smoke from a backstage ciggy, and just like that, the gloves are off. This isn't just any spat, it's a collision of eras, egos, and ideologies, with Rod representing the untouchable rock god and Denise embodying the resilient everywoman who's fought her way through soap operas, stage plays like The Glass Menagerie, and personal demons to claim her seat at the table. As the argument escalates, production staff exchange worried glances off-camera, whispering into headsets about commercial breaks. But the momentum is unstoppable. Denise, her face flushing with passion, accuses Rod of dismissing younger generation's struggles, drawing parallels to his own lyrics about heartbreak and rebellion that once empowered her through tough times. Rod, not one to back down. Remember his infamous 2023 spat with a heckler at his Vegas residency? A retorts with a zinger about Loose Women's endless yapping, implying the show prioritizes drama over depth. The studio erupts in a mix of gasps and nervous laughter, but beneath it all, there's an undercurrent of genuine hurt, as if these two titans are airing grievances that go deeper than the surface. By now, the segment has overrun its allotted time, and what was meant to be a 10-minute promo slot has ballooned into a full-blown showdown, captivating viewers at home who are live tweeting the shock under hashtags like #Rod vs Denise and #Loose Women Brawl. ITV switchboard lights up with calls to some cheering Denise's fire, others decrying Rod's rudeness, while social media explodes with memes superimposing Rod's snarling face from his hot legs video onto cartoon fight scenes. But the real kicker comes when, in the heat of the moment, Rod stands abruptly, knocking over a water glass that shatters on the polished floor, symbolizing the fragility of civility in the face of unbridled emotion. "I'm done with this circus," he bellows, striding toward the exit as stagehands scramble to follow. Denise, stunned but composed, calls after him, "Rod, come back, we're just talking." But it's too late as the door slams, and the audience is left in stunned silence, broken only by Christine's awkward attempt at a segue to the weather report. This dramatic exit isn't just a blip, it's the culmination of a day where egos clashed like cymbals in a drum solo, leaving every inia from the crew to the viewer reeling. As the red light blinks off for the break, whispers circulate. Has Rod just been kicked off Loose Women, or did he kick himself out? The incident, unfolding in real time on November 11, 2025, just yesterday as of this recording, has already sparked editorials in The Sun and The Guardian, with headlines screaming Sir Rod's rage, kicked off after Welch clash, and Denise stands her ground against rock legend. To understand the full gravity, we must rewind a bit. Rod's appearance was highly anticipated, billed as a dream guest to boost ratings amid Loose Women's 30th anniversary celebrations. Denise, fresh off promoting her memoir The Unwelcome Guest, which details her mental health journey with raw honesty, was in top form, her energy infectious as she bantered with co-stars about everything from menopause myths to celebrity plastic surgery rumors. Rod, meanwhile, arrived with stories from his memoir Rod, the autobiography updated, recounting wild tales of touring with the Faces and his love for fine art collecting. The setup seemed perfect, a blend of nostalgia and now. Yet, as is often the case in live TV, where scripts are mere suggestions, the conversation took a detour into Rod's recent comments on gender fluidity in music, where he expressed confusion over pronouns, saying in a prior podcast, "I'm old school, call me what you want. But don't confuse me." Denise, an ally to trans rights through her support of groups like Stonewall, saw this as an opening to educate, responding, "Rod, love, it's not about confusion, it's about respect for how people see themselves." What followed was a masterclass in miscommunication. Rod felt patronized, interpreting it as a lecture from a soap star, while Denise felt dismissed. Her lived experiences as a mother to a queer-identifying son and Matty brushed aside. The exchange devolved rapidly and accusations flew about privilege, with Rod claiming his rags-to-riches story from a Scottish shipyard family trumps any posh panel perspective, and Denise retorting that his 8 marriages, okay, 3, but who's counting? Don't qualify him as a relationship guru. The audience, a demographic skewing 40-plus women who adore both stars, is torn. Some cheer Denise's authenticity, others Rod's unapologetic grit. Backstage, Benny Lancaster, Rod's wife and Loose Women alumna, is said to have been watching from the green room, torn between loyalties, her own history of discussing domestic abuse on the show adding layers to the irony. As producers huddled, deciding whether to cut to ads or let it play out, the decision was made. Security escorted Rod out politely but firmly, citing set disruption, though sources whisper it was Rod's own fury that propelled him. This moment, captured in grainy fan clips already viral on TikTok with over 5 million views, cements its place in TV lore alongside classics like Gordon Ramsay cursing out a BBC host. But why does this matter? In an era where celebrities are held to higher standards of sensitivity, Rod's outburst highlights the generational chasm in entertainment, where boomer icons like him grapple with millennial expectations of allyship. Denise, representing Gen X resilience, emerges as the voice of reason amid the storm, Her post-show tweet reading, "Passionate debate is what loose women is about, no hard feelings. Rod, let's grab a drink and laugh about it." Yet, the damage is done. Rod's team releases a statement calling the incident overblown, while ITV teases an on-air follow-up. As we peel back the layers, it's clear this wasn't just a spat but a microcosm of broader cultural tensions of free speech versus inclusivity, fame's burdens versus authenticity. Stay tuned as we delve deeper into the backstories that fueled this firestorm, because in the world of showbiz, no confrontation is ever truly isolated. Now that the dust, or should I say, the shattered glass, has barely settled from Rod Stewart's dramatic storm off, let's zoom in on the heart of the confrontation itself, dissecting every barbed word and loaded pause that turned a promotional puff piece into a powder keg of emotion. It all ignited around the 15-minute mark of the segment, when the panel had warmed up with safe territory, Rod regaling tales of his early days busking in the streets of London, dodging rain and hecklers alike, his voice cracking with that signature gravel that made Tonight's the Night a seduction anthem for generations. The women nodded appreciatively, Janet Street Porter even sharing a yarn about her own punk rock phase in the 70s, drawing parallels to Rod's Wild Child era with Jeff Beck Group. But Denise, ever the provocateur with a knack for steering chats toward the substantive, posed the question that's been dogging Rod in interviews lately. "Sir Rod, you've got this incredible legacy, but how do you feel about the music industry now, with all the talk around diversity and older artists adapting to new norms?" It was innocuous enough on the surface, a nod to Rod's recent collaboration with younger acts like Louis Capaldi, but laced with subtext from his prior faux pas at 2024 X post where he joked about non-binary nonsense in award shows, which drew backlash from fans accusing him of transphobia. Rod, sensing the trap or perhaps genuinely irked by the implication he was out of touch, leaned back in his chair, crossing his arms over his chest adorned with a subtle Celtic knot tattoo peeking from his cuff. "Look, Denise, I've sung about loving whoever you love via man, woman, ever long before it was trendy, but don't come at me with this PC ballocks. I've earned my stripes without bowing to every whim." The studio temperature dropped 10 degrees. Ruth's eyes widened like saucers, while the audience murmured, a few claps for Rod's defiance rippling through. Denise, undeterred, her career built on calling out hypocrisy from her Waterloo Road teaching days to her advocacy against benefit cuts, fired back, "It's not bollocks, Rod, it's basic decency. My son's generation fights for visibility every day, and dismissing it as whim hurts people." Here, the personal collided with the professional. Denise's reference to Matty Healy, whose public kiss with a male fan at a 2023 concert sparked queer icon status, struck a nerve with Rod, whose own bisexuality rumors from the 70s have long been whispered but never confirmed. Rod's face reddened, his hands gesturing wildly as if conducting an invisible orchestra of outrage. "Your son? Good for him. But I didn't build stadiums full of screaming fans by worrying about labels. You lot on this show preach tolerance but cancel anyone who doesn't toe the line. Hypocrites." The word hypocrites landed like a mic drop, echoing Denise's own past clashes, like her 2022 defense of Amber Heard against Johnny Depp that polarized viewers. The panel fractured. Gloria Hunniford tried to mediate with a soft now, let's keep it civil, but Janet jumped in, her Yorkshire bluntness adding fuel. "Rod, love, times change, adapt or get left behind." Chaos ensued. Overtalk, interruptions, Rod's voice rising to that operatic wail from Sailing, Denise matching him decibel for decibel with her stage-honed projection from Grease revivals. Off mic, a producer's voice crackled, "Wrap it, but the stars were locked in, oblivious to the ticking clock. Viewers at home, sipping mid-morning lattes, were glued. Ratings spiked 30%, per early Nielsen whispers, as the raw authenticity trumped scripted segments. What elevated this from spat to spectacle was the physicality of Rod slamming his palm on the table, sending notepads flying, Denise standing halfway out of her seat, pointing emphatically as if in a courtroom drama. "You think this is easy, Rod? Try being a woman in this industry, labeled difficult for speaking up." She shot, alluding to her own loose women feud rumors debunked just months ago. Rod, cornered, lashed out with a low blow. "Speaking up? or shouting down legends like me. "I've got more Grammys than you've got Geordie accents." Laughter erupted, but it was uneasy, masking the sting. The breaking point came when Denise invoked Penny Lancaster, Rod's wife, noting her loose women discussions on coercive control and marriage as a subtle jab at Rod's history of 7 kids by 5 women. "Even your Penny knows what respect looks like," Denise said, her voice steady but eyes flashing. Rod bolted up, chair scraping like nails on chalkboard. "That side I'm out. Call me when you want real rock and roll, not this therapy session." As he stormed off, trailing his entourage, a publicist fumbling with a phone, a stylist clutching his scarf as the panel sat in stunned tableau, Christine fumbling. Well, that was passionate. Back after the break, but the feed didn't cut cleanly. A hot mic caught Denise muttering, "What a diva," and Ron's retreating growl of bloody feminists. Clips flooded X within minutes, amassing 2 million impressions, with reactions split. Taylor Swift fans, via Matty connection, backing Denise, while classic rock purists hailed Rod as telling it like it is. This wasn't mere TV drama, it exposed fault lines in celebrity culture, where icons like Rod, with estates in Essex and LA boasting vineyards and railways, confront the scrutiny of a social media jury. Denise, from her modest Newcastle roots to West End stardom in cabaret, represents the scrappy underdog, her 1.2 million Instagram followers rallying with #TeamDenise. Yet, empathy abounds. Rod's recent health scares, including thyroid cancer battles, add vulnerability. Is this outburst a cry from a man fearing irrelevance? Denise's own bipolar disclosures humanize her fervor. As fallout brews, ITV issuing a bland lively discussion statement, Rod's camp hinting at editing tricks. So we see how one exchange ripples, influencing everything from sponsor pulls to think pieces on aging gracefully in fame. This confrontation, raw and unfiltered, reminds us why we watch, for the moments when masks slip, revealing the humans behind the legends. But hold on, because to truly grasp the blaze, we must explore the tundra, the personal histories that primed this powder keg. To unpack why this clash between Rod Stewart and Denise Welch detonated with such ferocity, we need to journey back through their individual odysseys, tracing the scars and triumphs that shaped these two indomitable spirits into the firebrands who lit up loose women like a flare in the fog. Start with Rod, born Roderick David Stewart on January 10, 1945, in Highgate, London, to a builder father and teacher mother of Scottish descent, to humble beginnings that fueled his audacious rise. As a kid, he was a football-mad dreamer, supporting Arsenal and toying with the idea of pro sports, but music called louder. By 1961, he was fronting folk blues bands, his voice a raw, soulful howl honed by chain-smoking, catching ears in smoky Soho clubs. Joining the Dimensions, then Long John Baldry's Hoochie Coochie Men, Rod's big break came with the Jeff Beck Group in 1967, where his androgynous swagger and covers of Shape of Things electrified audiences, leading to Faces with Ronnie Wood and solo stardom via 1971's Every Picture Tells a Story. Hits poured out, A Reason to Believe, You Wear It Well, cementing him as the everyman's Lothario, his stage antics like scooting on knees and tossing scars becoming legend. Offstage, Rod's life was a whirlwind, 5 marriages or long-term loves, fathering 8 children, including model Ruby and footballer Liam, navigating tabloid storms from infertility struggles to his 2000 divorce from Rachel Hunter amid infidelity claims. Knighted in 2016, he's amassed a £200 million fortune through tours grossing millions, his O2 Arena residencies selling out in seconds. Yet, beneath the glamour lies grit. Rod's dyslexia diagnosis in adulthood, his battles with prostate and thyroid cancer that nearly silenced him, and a 2023 knee replacement that had him joking, "I'm falling apart faster than my old LPs." These trials forged his no-nonsense ethos. In interviews, he's lambasted snowflake culture, praising Trump's straight talk in 2024, which alienated progressive fans but endeared him to conservatives. Rod's worldview, shaped by mod culture's rebellion and 70s hedonism, prizes unfiltered honesty over diplomacy, a trait that, on Loose Women, clashed like cymbals. Contrast this with Denise Welch, born Jacqueline Denise Norton on May 22, 1958, in Tynemouth, England, into a working-class family where her civil servant dad and hairdresser mom instilled resilience amid financial strains. A shy child masking anxiety, Denise found solace in performing by 16. She was in youth theater, landing her TV break in 1984 as the practice before exploding as Rover's return barmaid Natalie Horrocks on Coronation Street from 1997-2000. Her affair storyline with Kevin Webster gripping 18 million viewers. Post-soap, she juggled stage roles in The Rise and Fall of Little Voice and TV stints on Waterloo Road as headmistress Lorraine. But personal tempests loomed. Diagnosed with bipolar disorder in 2001 after a breakdown, she chronicled it in The Unwelcome Guest, becoming a mental health crusader, founding the Crooked Half Moon Theater Group for those in recovery. Married thrice, he first to actor Tim Healy, 3 kids, including Matty, then TV exec Grant Bovey, divorced 2013 amid his affairs, now happily to Lincoln Townley since 2013. Denise's candor about sex addiction, menopause, and parenting a rock star son has made her a relatable icon. On Loose Women since 2005, she's the panel's emotional core, defending causes from women's rights to anti-austerity. Her 2022 clash with Gloria Hunniford over COVID hypocrisy showcasing her fearlessness. Denise's fire stems from survival, stalked horrifically in 2021 by Tareq Wingard who firebombed her home. She testified bravely, turning trauma into testimony. Her support for Matty through his 1975 controversies like Glastonbury 2025's mud-soaked headline Seda mirrors her allyship, clashing with Rod's old-school machismo. Their paths crossed peripherally before. Rod guested on Loose Women in 2018 promoting his soul album, Charming All, while Denise interviewed Penny Lancaster in 2020 on domestic abuse, praising her vulnerability. No prior beef, but simmering undercurrents are Rod's rumored 70s flings with men clashing with his later conservatism. Denise's Geordie grit versus Rod's posh assimilation set the stage. On that fateful day, these histories collided. Rod, fresh from a Celtic FC match rant against woke refs, saw Denise's probe as attack. She, buoyed by a recent MBE for services to charity, viewed his deflection as dismissal. The result, a verbal joust echoing their Arasa Rod's rock rebellion versus Denise's feminist fightback. This backstory illuminates why the confrontation wasn't random but inevitable. Two survivors swinging at shadows of their pasts. As media dissects Ida BBC calling it generational grit, made online diva duo. We see icons not as untouchable but as products of their battles, making the drama all the richer. But what of the immediate blast radius? Let's explore how the Loose Women set, that estrogen-fueled arena of confessions, amplified every spark into inferno.